Guys, welcome back. Today, once again, we are in Davinci Resolve. I have other videos in this series. Please check them out. In each video, we take this big view, a macro view, and we zoom in a little bit closer, looking at more specifics, more details, what we can do. And then today we're going even deeper. Specifically, we're taking a look at the inspector. I can't wait to do it. I love editing. I hope you love editing. And remember, you're not an editor unless you're editing. Once again, I'm Eric. This is the Loudboy Experience, and let's go. Well, here we are inside of Davinci Resolve, and one tab we have not mentioned yet is the Media tab. Before, we've talked about the Cut tab, okay? Cut tab, Edit tab. We have the Fusion tab, Color tab, Audio tab, and finally our Deliver or exporting out of the software. But all the way to the left, I'm going to take my cursor all the way down here, is the Media tab. This is not only a file browser, it's basically what it is, but contained within inside the software. I've added a couple of bins in here. Remember, those are just folders. So again, let's review what we have. We have our master one. That's the one by default, the main folder, okay, where we keep our graphics and our video and our audio. And then we had a picture folder, okay, which we made last time. Right now, I can see that there's some audio in there. Can you see that right there? See how the icon is different? Okay, that tells me that's audio. I have a video folder. And then I have an audio, but that audio folder is empty right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up to, I believe it was pics. I'm going to click, hold down, drag, and let go. Now that basically that moved it. And now in my audio tab or my audio bin, I have this audio. You don't have to do this. You can keep everything in one pot if you want. Great. If you want to be organized and if you need to be organized. The longer your project is, the longer your video is, the more elements in video and audio and graphics and all those things, all the things that make up your timeline and make up your video, they will become immense and long and tons. I mean, I've used 200 photos before. I've used 20 to 30 video clips, multiple songs. You can see that's a massive amount of stuff. You gotta be organized. Let's step into the inspector. It's kind of a weird name. Let me describe it like this. If any of you have used Avid or other softwares, in Avid, we call it the effects palette. And on the effects palette, this is where all the effects are listed within your software that you can apply to clips and timelines and transitions. However, and then you have an effects editor, which makes sense, right? I put an effect on the timeline and then I need to edit it, meaning change it, tweak it, move it around, whatever it might be. The effects palette and then effects editor. And here we have our effects button, which brings up these right here. But also, let's switch to this view. There we go. You can see how they look a little bit different. I like this view better in here because I get to see categories on the left, video transitions, audio transitions, titles, generators, effects, and so on. All part of your toolbox, okay? That's what it's called. But the effects editor, the way in which we can now manipulate, change, and tweak all those effects is called the inspector. The inspector is a much more complex tool than just working on effects, okay? Than just say I have a transition, right? A cross dissolve, I have whatever it might be, a blur dissolve. And say if that's centered, I want to have that start before or end before the cut. It can do a lot more than that. And that's why we're here, and that's what I want to show you. So again, effects button up here, right next to media tool. Over here, inspector. Now remember to manipulate layers on our timeline. Right now we have 2 video layers and we have 3 audio layers. The third audio layer down is that audio that we brought in the other 2 videos. So now I can play it and the audio is really loud, meaning the music part of this. It's probably drowning me out. Headphones. Here we go. Yeah, way too loud. Okay. Now, clicking on the inspector button, top of the software, all the way to the right, just to the right of metadata is inspector. This is a nice way to adjust many different things. Again, just think of it as this. I always think somehow like Scotland Yard or Inspector Gadget when I think Inspector, but really, yeah, it is about inspecting or taking a look at and manipulating uh, layers on your timeline, effects, all kinds of stuff, audio, video, and so on. Okay, so Inspector. I've chosen the third audio layer, A3, boom. Open, click on Inspector, got it. Right there, you can see it has volume. Now, this also does apply to the audio, the A1 and 2, those two stereo tracks that go along with me talking. Okay, so right now, if I mute A3, pressing the M button down there in the timeline, press play. Real video editing. That is me talking. When I click on that audio, I also have an inspector pop up. Watch this. This is so cool. When I click on the video, I have tools for the video. Makes sense? When I click on the audio, it switches over to parameters and things in which we can change for the audio itself. So I now click on A3, it changes to that, and it actually tells me in the inspector, it says TLE, as in the Loudboy Experience. Here it comes. This is a song I often use for like my theme song. It comes from if you haven't used it yet, Google has their audio library, and there's a bunch of music on there that's royalty free, or at least they allow you to use the copyright. And yeah, so this is one of those. Okay, so you can simply download it as an MP3, import it in, which is exactly what we did. Look over here, audio. Yes, that clip I pulled from my music library on my computer, but originally I downloaded it from YouTube. And when I use it, they apply the licensing for it, and I get to use it for free. Nice little perk of working with YouTube. Back to this. Clicking on A3, going to Inspector, okay? Remember, just press the button. Right now, the volume is at a 5, okay? It's really loud. So you can either, A, park your cursor over that 5. See how the little arrows come up, okay? It's bidirectional arrows. Left decreases and right increases. It gets louder, softer, and louder. So you remember, it was a 5. I'm going to Control Z that. Let's back that off to like -5. You can just punch in -5. Done. Now let's take a listen. OBS software, if you're looking to do some real... we're still muted on the timeline. If you don't hear anything, make sure you're not muted. Video editing. We're going to talk about... Still pretty hot. Okay. -13. Davinci. We're going to talk about Avid and edit on... I can at least hear myself now. Photoshop work. The entire... All right. And a lot, if you want a bed of audio, and that's what it's called, if you want some music, audio, whatever it might be, to be under you talking, make sure that you can be heard. Make sure you can be heard, because there's nothing worse than being drowned out by your own production music. All right, -17, got it. Video production process. That's good enough. All right, you guys get the gist, right? Click on the layer you want, go to Inspector, you can adjust the volume there. You can do this in the audio tab, yes. However, this is the really quick and easy way, and I love this way. Another thing, if I have this audio, for instance, if I had 2 of these, I'm not showing you this yet. We have our timeline, right? And looking at our viewer for that, it's called tutorial. There is a button right here, and this button is match frame. This is identical in Avid and probably in Adobe Premiere and Final Cut as well. Very important button. Here's why. Wherever I park on my timeline, that of course comes from, for instance, the audio we hear on A3, that music, that comes from that audio file or that audio clip that we can see actually over here in our media pool. Same goes for, I have my original video with audio, okay, that you can see playing above it, okay? Now, by clicking on A3, got it, I can press match frame. It will then open up that very clip and park the red line, okay, where we are in that, and park it exactly where that is. So, if I wanted to, okay, I can just find any point I want, click match frame, the red line moves to, that is the precise, so it's matching them up. Where it is in that song, it's going and finding it in the original clip. Now, this is why it's important. If I do that, I can now set an endpoint there. So if I want to now edit from that, I can find that specific frame and it'll go park there. Why did I use it in this instance? Here's why. I'm going to go back to the very beginning of our timeline. Okay. Hit match frame. Okay. It just found exactly where I put my original endpoint. All right. And we got it. Now I'm going to go right click down here in the space for the audio. I'm going to add an audio track. Done. And I am going to now edit in. Oops. I'm going to come edit in. There we go. Using that endpoint, I now have A3 and 4. It's the same music, but just doing this as an example, you can see that 4 is still very hot, isn't it? It still has those original levels. If we go to our inspector, remember we made that -17, but when I click on A4, it is at 0, of course. So I'm going to go -17. Now they're matching. See how that changed like that? Control Z. See how that white line is wide, and now I can back that off. Just pulling on it right here. -17. Done. Now they are matching. Face the camera. So not only do I have 2 channels running me talking, I have 2 channels running the music. I wanted to do this to show you this illustration. So clicking on A3 in our timeline, clicking on that clip, you can pan. Okay, what does that mean? Placing the sound either in left channel, right channel, or somewhere in between. So a lot of times with music, I will pan one channel to the left and one channel to the right, depending on what I want to do. So now I have music coming from each channels and I can move them if I want and do whatever. So I just want to show you that's panning, okay? Again, clicking on one, it's -100 to the left, and clicking on the other one, it's 100 to the right. Great, there you go. All right, so volume, panning. You also have pitch in here. You can actually adjust the pitch. So let's mute A3. So we just hear one of these. Play it. And record. Let's mute 1 and 2 as well. That is really soft. Let's bump that up a little bit just so we can hear it for now. Okay, so there you go. So I can come in here. Yeah. Undo. That's what it did sound like. Let's pull it to the left. Okay. You may not want to do this. You might not need to do this. I wanted to show you that it's here. You can adjust the pitch of any audio on your timeline at will. All right, so there you go. Now, if you do mess up and you want to reset it, this little arrow over here with a little, that resets it, okay? It brings you back to the default, where it was. One more thing, audio, inspector, the equalizer. I have recently used the equalizer. I shot a bunch of like cooking type video in my kitchen, right? And without a lapel mic, I had to shoot it with my phone. Did not sound great. There was kind of a hollow echo to it, as you'd expect, and an open kitchen with just a phone pointing at it. So without a lapel mic, it didn't sound very great. However, what I was able to do is, let's mute our music, unmute me talking, come in here. We're going to press play and record something. Okay. With the equalizer, one way to get rid of that, grab the 1K. It's right here. At the very bottom, tiny little 1K. You may not be able to see it very well on your screen. It's there. Grab that and pull that down at least a couple notches. But if you're looking to do more, by eliminating that part of the audio spectrum, a lot of times you can make things sound a lot better. If you want to boost more of the bass or the low end, it's on the left side of this. The high end, it's on the right side. The middle is in the middle. Why is that important? A lot of times when you need to make voices sound better, there is right around that 1K frequency is one that you want to adjust. I'm not an audiophile like audio specialist. I can't explain why, but I think it has to do with that mid-range where a lot of times it doesn't sound as good, if you will, or is not reproduced as well, or speakers cannot define it. But what that does is when you bring that down, you'll hear more of the bottom end, right? And I do this everywhere. On my stereo and my receivers, I just want the two sides up. That's what I want to hear. Lots of bass, lots of high end and treble, and I kind of bring down the middle some. That's pleasant to me. Not to everyone. However, let's do the inverse. Let's press play. But if you're looking to do more, let's bring that up really high. More. If you're looking to... I guess I just recorded some really good sound. And plus, we are listening to both channels right now. But the point is, yes, a lot of times to get rid of that, or if you want to go try to do it and experiment with it, again, click on the audio layer, which I actually... I think I just broke my own rules. Click on the audio layer. And by the way, you can select multiple layers at once. Equalizer's on. Let's give that... You know what, guys? Case in point. Make sure you've chosen the layer down here. I was in too much of a zone here. Okay, here, let's try it now. Use OBS software if you're looking to do some real video editing. We're going to talk about Davinci. We're going to talk about Avid. You hear it? And edit on those. Some Photoshop work. The entire video production process. If you're interested in that, you're in the right place. Let's reset it. I am Eric. This is the Loudboy Experience. Okay? One more time. Pressing play. And record something. But if you're looking to do more, if you're looking to use OBS software, if you're looking to do some real video editing, we're going to talk about Davinci. Reset it. We're going to talk about Avid. That's what it sounds like by default. Bringing down the middle. Photoshop work, the entire video production process. In this case, it doesn't need to. My audio sounds pretty good, but there you go. That has been the most needful part of the equalizer. Lots of stuff you can do, lots of things you can experiment with, try to tweak. So it's all there, but that is the one that maybe most often you might need, especially if you're doing a lot of phone shooting and you're shooting around the house and you can just hear that horrible echo. Yeah, go rip into the equalizer, guys, okay? Click on the layer that you want to... do as I say, not as I do. Click on the layer that you want to manipulate. Go up to inspector. Go, pull down to the equalizer and go for it.